welcome. Today I'm going to make for you a lobster bisque, and for this recipe I have here 2 lobster tails. If you want to use a whole lobster for this recipe you can do that also, but I just bought the tails. I have some leeks, some chopped onions, some celery chopped up, heavy cream, some half and half. If you don't have heavy cream you can probably use evaporated milk, but it's not going to be the same. Or you can use stay fresh milk if you like. I have some carrots, tomato paste, whole peppercorn, some, if you have fresh thyme you can use that. I don't, so I'm going to use some dried thyme, 2 garlic slices, some unsalted butter, flour, and some Hennessy or cognac. And I don't know if I mentioned the tomato paste, and you're going to need a lighter. So the complete list of ingredients for this recipe can be found down below in the description box. So let's get started on putting this dish together. So to a pot that's on medium heat, I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil, which I didn't mention in the ingredients list, but I will be sure to add that to the description with the complete list of ingredients. And I'm going to add in my butter, and I'm going to allow this to melt. To the melted butter, I'm going to add in my garlic, chopped onions, leeks. Now, leeks are what they call chives or scallions on steroids. So if you can't get the leeks, you can use the scallions. So that was my celery and my carrots. So I'm just going to let this saute a little in here. And I'm going to add some salt to this, just to help soften the vegetables a little. I'm going to add in the fine thyme and the peppercorn. And the tomato paste. So you just want this to cook in here for like about 2 minutes, because you want to wake up that tomato paste. Now I'm going to add the lobster tail, and if you want you can chop up your lobster tails if you like. But I'm going to put them in whole, and when they're cooked I'm going to fish them out, and then I'll take the meat out of the shells and chop them up. So you're going to allow this to cook in here for about 5 minutes, depending on the size of your lobster. And the reason why we're not going to let it cook all the way through is because when we take it out of the shell we're going to chop it up and add it back to the hot liquid in the pot, and it's going to continue cooking the lobster. We don't want the lobster to get chewy. I'm going to cover this and allow the lobster to cook until the shells have turned red. Okay, so as you can see the lobster has started to turn that nice pinkish, reddish or coralish color. I'm going to fish these out because I don't want them to overcook. And I'm going to allow these to cool. Once they cool, I will remove the meat from the shell and chop up that meat. In the meantime, to this pot. Now for the next step. If you're cooking this on a gas stove, then you need to be very careful and turn your heat off, or remove your pot from your heat, because we're going to add in that cognac. And it's about a tablespoon, and you just want to light that cognac and let that alcohol burn off. So that's it. The flame is gone because the alcohol has burned off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of black pepper in this. Give it a mix, and to this I'm going to add my flour. And don't dump it all in one place because you don't want it to get lumpy. Mix this in and allow that flour to cook for a couple of seconds. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to the pot just to bring up anything that's stuck to the bottom. And I'm going to add in my cream. Half and half. Now I'm putting the half and half, and you can use stay fresh milk if you like, because I think the cream is a little too thick and I like to thin it out a little. Plus that flour is just going to make this get a little more thicker. So now we want this to come up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we'll knock the heat back to low and allow it to simmer. So here I have my shells that I took out from the lobster tails, and I'm going to add them back to the pot, because while the cream is coming up to a boil, these shells are going to infuse more flavor into the cream. So my cream has come up to a boil. I'm going to lower the heat and let this simmer a little so that this can thicken up a little bit. So my lobster cream sauce is ready. I'm going to strain this into another pot. You just want to let all that goodness that you have at the bottom of the strainer go through if you have to press against it. So one thing I like to do is add a piece of orange rind to this, because it helps lighten and brighten the flavors of this bisque. And now that this is strained, I'm going to add in my lobster meat. And you want to taste this for salt, and if you want more black pepper, and you adjust it accordingly. And then this will be ready to serve. So here you have it, my lobster bisque recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Make it, let me know down below if you like it. Send me photos if you do make it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all another day with another one of my recipes. Enjoy!